Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla, and if you're interested in lifestyle videos sprinkled with magic, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am super excited for today's video because I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of everything that is in the top drawer of my makeup vanity. And I'm a makeup girly. I love doing creative looks. I love doing regular glam. I love trying new products, and I have a lot of makeup. I've always been a makeup girly. So I've definitely accumulated a lot of makeup over the years, and all of the products that I keep in my top drawer are like, they're basically my holy grails. Like, these are my favorite products. These are the products that I'm constantly reaching for, so I have to keep them in my top drawer. So with that being said, let's just get into it because I have a lot of makeup in here, so we got a lot to go through. So first we're gonna go through this kind of like random container which has like multiple categories of products. First, let's go ahead and start off with primers because whenever I'm doing my makeup I always put on my primer first. I have 4 primers in here. I have 2 high-end and 2 drugstore. We'll go ahead and start off with the drugstore primers. First, I have my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and I am blown away by this primer. Like, this is the first one from e.l.f. I believe that I tried, and I think it actually does a really good job at, like, its name, e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Like, it does a really good job at filling in my pores and just kind of blurring them. And I remember just the first time I used this, I was shocked because it actually just made my skin look so smooth and like filled in my pores. So I really like this, and I know I've gone through a few of these. I mean, like, even just looking now, like, the container is basically almost empty and I'm like hitting pan pretty much. So I love this primer. And the next primer that I have is more of a like long-lasting primer, and it is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. Whenever I go to the parks, this is always the primer that I bring because it really just helps set my makeup in, and it has like a really tacky texture so that it just really makes my makeup stay. So I love this one. Again, I've used quite a bit of it, and both of these primers are really affordable, so I highly would recommend you guys check them out. I know these are pretty popular on TikTok, especially this one, so we love e.l.f. The next primers are my more high-end ones, and this one is my Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer, and I also love this one. It's pretty similar, I would say, to the Poreless Putty Primer, but it kind of has like a little bit more of a gel texture versus this one is just more of like kind of like a cream, kind of like opaque primer. I'm probably not describing that right, but it kind of gives like the same blurring effect, and this in combination with the Rare Beauty setting spray is just like chef's kiss. And the next primer is a recent find, but it is the Refi Glow and Sculpt Primer. It's actually what I use today, but I love this primer. Like, I saw this everywhere on TikTok and I just really liked it because it has like this roller, so when you apply it you just roll it onto your face, and then I just pat everything in, and it really does the job of like making my face look sculpted. And I feel like it also has like a really tacky texture, so it holds your makeup really well. So I really love this primer. I've been using it pretty much every time I wear makeup, so I highly would recommend you guys check it out. Moving on to eyeshadow palettes. I keep 2 eyeshadow palettes in here, and they're both high-end. The first one is like the palette that I pretty much recommend to everyone. It is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette, and I absolutely am obsessed with this palette. If you guys can see here, it's definitely gotten a lot of love. I typically wear this one in like my crease, and then I typically wear like this brown or this brown or like this brown in the outer thirds to just really deepen up the crease. And it's just such a good palette. Like, it's a really beautiful warm palette, and it just has like all of my perfect neutrals, so I pretty much bring this everywhere with me. Like, I brought it to Hawaii, I brought it with me to Disneyland. Like, it's just such a good palette and I love it. Like, the formula is great. The next palette is my Pat McGrath Mothership palette, and I was lucky enough to receive this for Christmas one year, and I absolutely love it. Like, again, it just has like a bunch of really pretty warm and cool tone neutrals, and then it has a few fun shimmer shadows, and the formula on these are so incredible. Like, the pigment is unreal. Like, I will swatch some of these for you, but look how pretty that purple is. Like, it's just such a pretty shimmer shadow. Her eyeshadows are always really, really pigmented. Like, a little really goes a long way. Like, you'll put some on initially and then you could really, really build up the color. So I love this palette. I think this is just such a great palette that has a lot of great neutrals, but then it also has a lot of fun colors that you can make it look a little bit more glam with. We love Pat McGrath. Like, the pigmentation, the formula is just amazing. I have like a few random products in here that I want to share with you guys as well. The first is this Hourglass palette, and this is the Ambient Lighting Edit Locked, and this is like the leopard edition, and it comes with a few highlights and blushes and a little bit of a contour, and this palette is just so pretty and so pigmented, and it gives like a really natural glow from within. I'm not wearing it today, but I do really love this palette, and the first time I used it I was just like blown away. I kind of like to put my blush brush in there and like mix them all up to put some blush on, and then I'll go in with like a little bit of the highlighter, but it is just so pretty. Like, it is really expensive, but I definitely think the price is definitely worth it, and like getting it in a little palette like this also helps. The next kind of random product that I have in this compartment is my setting powder, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Complexion Perfecting Micro Powder. That was a mouthful. But anyways, I have this in 2 medium, but I pretty much like to use this after I put on my liquid blush. So I'll put it under my eyes, and then I'll put it like in my T-zone, just like where I really get oily, and I love it. It pretty much just looks like this, a pretty standard powder, but it does such a good job at kind of blurring my pores and then also just setting like all of my oils and stuff. So I love this, and I do think it is a really good powder for travel, like when you're on the go, because you could just bring this in your little puff and just like touch up. So I've been loving this powder. The next random makeup favorite that I have in here is a new product that I've been loving, and this is the Danessa Myricks Strobe Light Infinite Chrome Flakes, and I just think it is so pretty as like a really pretty topper. Like whenever I'm doing a glam look and I want to spice it up a little bit more, I will just add this on top, and it's just so pretty. Like, I saw this on TikTok, I believe Green Eggs and Glam talked about it, and it was just so pretty. Like, I feel like the camera is kind of like not picking up the reflectiveness or like the chrome, but it's just so pretty, and I actually have like a look that I did on my TikTok with this, so check it out. But I just love using this as like a fun topper. Last but not least, I have to mention the lashes that I always keep in my top drawer, but I'm actually wearing them. But I love doe lashes. I feel like they're really perfect, especially for Asian eyelashes. Like, they have just like the perfect shape, and also these are like not too thick, but they still give a nice little flutter effect, and these are in the style Starry Night, and I absolutely love them. Like, these are pretty much a go-to for me. I always stock up on them, and I'm pretty much wearing them whenever I do a full face of makeup. That was pretty much my random drawer, but moving on to all of my concealers and foundations, because after I set my face and do my eyeshadow, I will move on to my concealer and then my base. So I have quite a few base products in here, but I'll start off with some concealers. I have 3 concealers in here, well actually 2. These are both the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I just have them in a few different colors, and I use these actually for my eyeshadow primer. I don't actually have one, so I've honestly just been using a concealer for my eyeshadow primer, but I love this concealer, especially if I want a little bit more coverage, then I will be using this. But it's just such a creamy hydrating concealer, and I actually just love how this looks, so I always have a few of these. And again, e.l.f. just has such affordable price points, so you can't go wrong with these. But I just have 2 of these in here. I have both of them in Fair Warm, but then this one I'm kind of like running out of, so I had to stock up on a backup. And then next I have my Rare Beauty Under Eye Brightener in the shade Medium, and I absolutely love this thing. It is what I'm always wearing under my eyes whenever I wear makeup. It's not as much of like a coverage concealer, like if you're looking for something to conceal any like blemishes or anything, I probably wouldn't use it for that, but it does such a good job at like brightening the under eyes. And I really just love the applicator that it has on here. It has like this metal applicator on here, so when you're putting it under your eyes, it's supposed to give like a cooling, depuffing effect, and I feel like it just feels so luxurious. And it's also light enough where I feel like it's not creasing my under eyes, so this has definitely been a staple in my makeup routine. I have one drugstore foundation, and this is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. Again, e.l.f. is just absolutely slaying it. I absolutely love this. I've definitely gotten a lot of use out of it. As you can see, like the cap is just really messy, but it's definitely more full coverage, so I'll use it for more of like a fancier dinner, just like more of a special occasion than just like my everyday makeup. But I do love how it also has like a lot of skincare properties in here, so it feels like I'm actually helping my skin and not just like caking it on. But it has collagen, peptides, and niacinamide in here, and I especially love how this has SPF in it, so this is definitely a favorite that I always like to keep in my top drawer. And sometimes I'll even just like spot conceal with this if I want to, because you can really build up the coverage. so love this. Moving on to more of my everyday foundations. The first one is the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint, and I actually included this in one of my favorites videos before, but it just gives such a natural and pretty finish, and it also has SPF in here, so I feel like I'm also protecting my skin. And again, it's a serum and it's like a skin tint, so it's not going to give like super heavy coverage, and it's just really comfortable and perfect for everyday wear. I especially love using this over the summer, and I will say it's a little bit hard to like get used to. Like, you definitely have to blend it in right away, but once you get the hang of it, it's such a beautiful product and it gives such a nice finish, and I always like go back to this product, so I love it. You definitely can't go wrong with the skin tint, and especially with spring and summer coming up and just like warmer weather, I highly recommend you guys check this out because this is such a great product. The next product is a newer product that I've recently picked up, and it is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blur and Smooth Skin Tint Stick. That was a mouthful, but this is actually like the first stick foundation I've ever used, and I absolutely love it. I picked this up because Whitney Simmons always raves about this product on her TikTok, and her skin just looks so beautiful and flawless, so I just knew I had to pick it up, and I'm so glad I picked this product up. I'm actually wearing it on my face today, but it is just so easy to use, and it gives your skin such a nice and pretty finish, and it's not too heavy, but you can definitely build it up for a lot more coverage. So I've been loving this. I pretty much been using this whenever I do my everyday makeup. It's just like that good of a product. Like, this in combination with my Rare Beauty under eye brightener is like my go-to base right now, so I definitely would recommend you guys check out Fenty Beauty. Last but not least, for foundations, I have my Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation, and if I was rich, I'd be using this like every single day, but this is such a great foundation. At first I was kind of like wary about just like luxury makeup brands, but this just really convinced me. Like, it gives such a pretty finish. I feel like I'm saying that about all my foundations, but this just gives such a pretty finish, and it's also really light, but then you can also build it up. So if you want a little bit more full coverage, like, I probably would gravitate more towards this foundation if I'm looking for something for like a wedding that I'm going to, or like a special dinner or anything like that, or just something where I know I'm going to be photographed a lot. I definitely would gravitate towards this foundation, and it's just such a pretty color. Whenever I'm using it, it's just so easy to blend and put on and build up, so I really love this foundation. I'm definitely trying to save it, but I do think it's worth the money, so like, maybe if you guys were interested in picking this up, I would recommend you pick it up during the Sephora sale that is coming up, because this is just such a great product and I love it. I almost forgot about this foundation, but I have to talk about the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, and I'm absolutely obsessed with this foundation. I feel like if you have dry skin especially, this will be really good for you if you're looking for a foundation that has more like medium to full coverage. Like, it's really light and comfortable to wear, but you can definitely build up the foundation, and it has all of these amazing skincare properties in here, so it just feels so comfortable on the skin, and it actually leaves my skin feeling moisturized that even when I put powder on it, it just doesn't feel cakey at all, and it's just so pretty. And also, it has a pump, so I feel like it's just really easy to use. So overall, like, Lady Gaga just really knows what she's doing with makeup. Moving on to probably my favorite little container in my drawer. It is my cheek drawer, so like my blushes, my highlighters, and my bronzers. And it's not so much the bronzers and the highlighters, it's the blush. Like, I'm a blushaholic. I love blush. So starting off with all of my bronzers, I have 4 in here. Starting off with one of the OG favorites. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I have it in medium deep. And this is like one of the original bronzers that I know that a lot of the older beauty gurus in like 2016, 2014, whatever, they were always talking about this product, and it's just always been a staple in my collection. Like, it's just such a solid bronzer, and I usually go with cream bronzer, but then if I want to kind of set it with a powder bronzer, then I will go ahead and go in with this bronzer, and it's just like such a solid bronzer like I mentioned earlier, and it smells like chocolate, so you can't go wrong with that. But the formula is really pretty, and it doesn't leave my skin looking really patchy, so I do really like this powder bronzer. Next up, we have my Patrick Ta bronzer, and this is in the shade She's So LA, and this is another duo product, so it has a cream and a powder in here, and I just think it's so good. Like, again, it's just really easy to use. First, I'll go in with the cream bronzer, and then once everything is set, then I'll just go back in with the powder. And I think this is just such a pretty bronzer. It's definitely a true bronzer because it has a little bit more of like a warm undertone, but I do love it. Like Patrick Ta just knows what he's doing with his makeup. Next up, we have a newer favorite of mine, and this is the Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer, and I have this in the shade Light Level 4, and this is just such a pretty bronzer. I was really impressed with this when I did a first impressions on my TikTok. It looks like a powder bronzer, but then when you put it on, it actually feels a little bit more like a cream, and it's so pigmented. Like, you really have to blend it in, and a little goes a long way, and I think they just really popped off with this product. Last, for bronzers, I have my everyday bronzer, and this is the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in Happy Soul, and I'm actually wearing it today, and this is just such an easy product to use, and it just gives such a pretty finish. Like, I literally just put it on and then blend it out with a brush, and it just looks so pretty. I know some people love this or hate this on TikTok, but I actually love this bronzer. I feel like it's just so reliable, and I've had this bronzer for like forever, and I'm just like not even close to being finished with it. So overall, love this bronzer. It's pretty much what I use every single day because it's just so good. Let's go ahead and move on to blushes, my favorite part of this video. I have like a bunch of blushes in here, so we'll just go ahead and start with the liquid blushes. First, I have one of my newer favorites. I have the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush. These are so pretty, and I've especially been loving Pinky Promise. Whenever I wear it, I just get so many compliments on my blush. I believe these are like $8, and they're just so pigmented, and they're not cakey at all. So they're just like so comfortable to wear. And because these are so pigmented, I highly would recommend that you guys put some on the back of your hand first and then pick some up with a blush to put it on your cheeks, and then it'll just give such a pretty finish, and it'll leave your cheeks all cute and rosy. And I've mentioned this on my TikTok, but I typically like to put my blush like going this way, like upwards, so it just looks a little bit more lifted. So overall, I've really been loving these blushes, and you really just can't go wrong with them. Like, we love, like, e.l.f. has been mentioned a lot in here because they're slaying it. Like, they really just know what they're doing. Moving on to my next blush favorite, and this is a newer favorite as well. This is Juvia's Place Blush Lighter in the shade Marigold Glow, and look how pretty this color is. Like, it's gonna be so perfect for spring and summer. I recently tried this on my TikTok, and I think it's just so pretty because usually when I do my Rare Beauty liquid blushes, I will just mix the blush and the liquid luminizer, and I feel like it just looks so pretty, and this gives that same effect. And this is just going to be perfect for the spring and summer, so I definitely wanted to include this in this video because I loved it when I first tried it, and I know I will be using it a lot during the spring and summer. Next, we have the Rare Beauty blushes, and we cannot have a blush section and not talk about the Rare Beauty blushes because these are so good, and these are actually just like what made me fall in love with blush because they just leave such a pretty, natural, just like blushed from within look on your cheeks. And I definitely feel like these are more for like a natural everyday makeup look because it's a really like light blush versus like I feel like these are a lot more pigmented and a lot more glam. But I think these are so pretty, and I feel like these are really pretty if you guys are looking for like the clean girl aesthetic. I have this shade Hope, and I feel like this is a little bit more of like a pinky mauve shade, and this was like the first shade that I ever tried. And then I also picked up the shade Love because I kind of wanted a red blush because it was something that I just never had before, and it's a little bit more of like an orangey red, so I do like this a lot more during the spring and summer. But I do really love these blushes. I've mentioned these both in my favorite videos, and they're just staples in my collection. Moving on to my two ColourPop blushes. The first one is more of an everyday shade that I love, and how cute is the packaging? This is Flirt Alert, and this is a really pretty mauve color, so it's also broken, so that makes me sad. But it basically looks like this, and it's such a pretty color. Like, I feel like this in combination with Hope is just such a pretty combo. Like, it's a perfect match. Such a solid blush, and it's so pretty, especially for more of like a natural look, so I love her. Next, we have my You Are Magnifico blush from ColourPop, and this is from their Lizzie McGuire collection, and I love this for whenever I'm doing like a pinky eyeshadow. If I'm ever doing like a pink red look, I want like really vibrant magenta cheeks, but it is just so pretty, so perfect. I love the little imprint on the packaging, and it is a little bit more of a like highlighter and blush. We love her, and I've had this for a few years, and it's just remained a blush that I've always gravitated towards. Moving on to more of my high-end blushes. First, I'm going to chat about the Patrick Ta blushes. These are going viral on TikTok right now, but I absolutely love them. I've actually had a shade before, but I've been loving these newer colors that he came out with because these are like my go-to spring and summer shades. First, we have She's the Moment, which is more of like a peachy coral color, and then we have Just Enough, which is like a really pretty pale pink. And how pretty are these colors? Like, I did a first impressions of these on my TikTok, and they are just so stunning. And it's not my first time trying the formula. I think the formula is beautiful. It's really long lasting, and I also feel like for the price point with a cream and a pressed powder, you just like can't go wrong, and it's such a good deal. And this is just such an amazing product. I actually wore this out the other day, like when I went to dinner, and then I came home and the blush was still there. Like, I feel like usually my face eats blush and it just like disappears by the end of the day, but this stayed. And I really just do think like the power of the two together just like really makes a difference in your makeup, so I love. I'm actually wearing She's the Moment right now. This like replaced Rare Beauty and like Elf Beauty as of right now. Like, these are kind of just like my fave right now, so I love. Next, we have the Dior Rosy Glow blushes, and these are some of like my all-time favorites ever. Again, when I got these, I was a little bit skeptical if they were actually going to be worth the price, but I actually really love them, and I feel like they are just so pretty. I especially love to use Rosewood with the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in Hope, and I love to use pink when I just want like a little bit more of like a pop of pink, and I think they're just so pretty. Like, they're really pigmented and they last all day on my skin, so I really think that they're worth the money, and I've used these a lot. Like, I'm actually really sad that like you can't really see the Dior stamping a lot. Like, that's just how much I've used them, but I think they're just such pretty blushes. Moving on to my highlighters, I only have two in here. First, I have like my tried and true OG favorite highlighter, and this is the Becca Cosmetics highlighter in Opal. It's a little bit more of like a rosy kind of like champagne color, but I think it's just so pretty, and this highlighter is just like absolutely blinding, but I love it so much. And I don't even know if you could buy this anymore, but I'm kind of like hitting pan on here, so when I run out, I will actually just like be really sad when it runs out, because I think these are just so good. Like, I used to use this when I was in college, and it's just like remained a favorite ever since. Next, we have my recent favorite highlighter that I recently discovered, and this was recommended by Judy here on YouTube, and I just think it's like the prettiest highlighter ever. Like, it is more of like a true silver highlight. Like, look at that. You can totally see like my blush in there, so I use this quite a lot, and whenever I use this highlighter, I get so many compliments on it because it really just makes your skin look like diamonds. It is so pretty on the skin, and it just like glistens, and I just love using it as like a topper on top of my blush. I think it's just so pretty, and as you can tell, I definitely use it a lot because it actually had like a plastic covering on here, but I used it so much that it basically fell off. But slay, Rihanna. Like, this is just such an amazing product, and I love it so much. That was pretty much all of my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. And moving on to the last little container, we have my lippy container. So first, we'll start off with the lipsticks because I only have like two in here. The first is like my tried and true lipstick, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, and this is a new one, but I just think this color is so pretty. It's kind of like a pinky mauve color, and I feel like it's just like my lips but better, and it's just such a comfortable formula, and I feel like this is just a cult classic for a reason. Like, it's just so pretty. It's like the perfect pinky nude color, and I love it. Next, we have a more recent fave, and it is actually the new Skin by Kim lipstick. I did a first impressions on my TikTok, and I think it's just so pretty, and I don't really have like a lot of like true nude, like true nudie brown lipsticks, so when I tried this, I was really pleasantly surprised. And it is a matte finish, but I feel like the formula is actually really comfortable on the lips, and it's just so good to wear. Like, I was really excited to try these because I know people raved about the KKW lipstick, so when this came out, I was like really excited to try, and it actually just like didn't disappoint, so I've been keeping it in my top drawer. I have a few lip liners in here. First, I have the oh my god. I have a few lip liners in here. Of course, I have to have the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Reshape and Resize lip liner, and this is in the shade Pillow Talk, I believe. Obviously, like, the lipstick and lip liner just like go so well together, and lip liners are actually just like life-changing. Like, I always need to wear lip liner, so I always have to keep it in here. And then I have the Skin by Kim lip liner, and it's just a really good formula. It's really pigmented, it glides on really nicely, so I keep it in my top drawer as well. Moving on to my drugstore lip liners, I have to include the ColourPop lippy pencils because these have just been like the lippy pencils that I've always used. Like, if you look at my makeup post, I've always kind of like tagged one of these because I have like so many colors. I picked them up in like a pack and they've just been like a really good set. The color that I use quite often is in the shade Bumble, and it's more of like a terracotta nude color, so I think that's a really pretty, more like dramatic shade. And I will say though, I feel like this is a little bit more of like an honorable mention because the packaging I feel like is kind of cheap, because like sometimes like if I like put it that way, or like when I open the lip pencil, you could see that the product comes out a little bit, so I feel like it'll break really easily. But the formula is really comfortable and it's really nice, and that's why I feel like it's a little bit more of like an honorable mention, but I've just used these so much. But I have found a really good drugstore lip liner. I picked up the NYX lip liners recently, and I have the shade Nude Pink and Mauve, and I've actually been more gravitating towards the mauve color because I do, as you will see shortly, I do have a lot of mauve lip balms and like lip glosses, and it just goes really perfectly with that. I think I'm actually wearing it today, so I love these. They are such a great formula. They go on really nicely and they're really easy to use, so love these. And I think these are only $5, so you just can't go wrong with them. Let's go ahead and move on to all of my lippies that I love so much. I have a bunch, as you guys can see in here. First, I have 2 of the e.l.f. lip oils, and these I believe are a dupe for the Dior lip oils, and they're just so good. I love to wear these with a lip liner and the lip oil, and I feel like I'm just pretty much good for the day. I have these in the shade Rose Envy and Pink Quartz, and I've been using Pink Quartz a lot because I think it's just so cute, and it's a really cute lip oil, and it does have like a really slight tint, but I also feel really moisturized whenever I put these on, so love these. Another drugstore favorite is my Just a Tint lip crayon from ColourPop, and this is like one of my OG favorites. If you guys watch some of my previous favorites videos, you guys would know I wear this a lot, but it is just such a comfortable formula. It's really moisturizing and it gives a really, really cute tint, and again, I feel like this is just like a My Lips but better color, and I like to wear this a lot during the summer when I kind of just want a really light lip tint, obviously, so I will throw this on. This was recommended by Judy, and I have this in the color Gimme Some More, and again, it's just like a really perfect pinky nude. Moving on to more of like my high-end lippies. First, I have to talk about the Summer Fridays lip balm. I absolutely love this so much, and it is just so comfortable to wear, and it gives like a really nice tint. Again, I love to wear this with a lip liner and just like throw this on over, and I feel like it's just so good. I specifically love the Iced Coffee shade. I just absolutely love this product, and I feel like the applicator just like fits the curvature of my lips so well. It smells really good, like it actually smells like iced coffee, and the color looks really good on my skin tone. And I'm really sad because I feel like this is a limited edition shade because I just haven't been able to find it anywhere else. So if you guys know where I can find this, then like please let me know. I have 2 lippy favorites from Tower 28, and I love Tower 28 because their brand is just so hydrating and it's really protecting your skin and really good for sensitive skin. So first, I have one of like my original favorites from Tower 28, and it is their Shine On Lip Jelly in Cashew. And as you guys can see, I really just have a type of liking like pinky nude shades, but again, this is just a really pretty gloss that leaves my lips feeling really moisturized, and it has like a really nice tint, so I'll wear this with a lip liner and then I'm pretty much good to go for the day. During the summer, I pretty much will just switch off between the lip jelly and the lip crayon. Next, I have this Lip Softy Tinted Lip Treatment from Dolce de Leche, and I feel like this is just so good. I actually like this and the House Labs PhD lip glaze a lot better than the new Summer Fridays lip oil. I don't know, that just like doesn't do it for me, and I feel like it's not really worth the price, but I feel like immediately when I put this on, it was really hydrating, and I feel like the color is really pretty and it smells really good. Like, this kind of just brings me back to like lip products that we used to use like when we were in like junior high, kind of like elementary school. Overall, this is just a really great product. Like the color is there, the pigment is there, and it's really moisturizing, so we love. Last but not least, I already mentioned her a little bit earlier, but it is my recent fave, and it is the Haus Labs PhD Lip Glaze. It's a 4-in-1 product, so it's supposed to be a lip balm, a lip tint, a lip oil, and a plumping lip product, and I feel like this is just so good. Like for all around, I feel like overall this is like the best lip product, especially out of all of the recent lip releases that I've tried. I feel like this one is definitely my favorite. That was all of the makeup that's actually in my top drawer, but really quickly I wanted to mention my favorite setting spray. It's what I'm using on my skin today, and I don't know what it is about this product, but it just leaves my skin looking so amazing. Like it just really puts everything together and just really completes the look, so I absolutely love this setting spray. I don't even know how many bottles I've went through this, but it is just so good and I highly would recommend. And that pretty much wraps up everything that is in the top drawer of my vanity, all of my holy grails, all of my favorite makeup products. And I know this was a really long video, so if you guys made it till the end, then you guys are the best. Like leave me a little lipstick emoji down below. And I hope you guys enjoy this video because I love talking about makeup. I've been talking a lot about makeup on my TikTok especially, so follow me there if you guys are interested in more beauty content. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to do it for a while, so I'm really excited that we finally did it, and I feel like I should do this video like a few months later and see kind of like what's changed. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video here because I know this has been a long enough video already. But if you guys liked it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments if we have any of the same makeup favorites, and let me know which products I should try next. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video from me. Let's stay connected. Follow me on my socials. They're both just Kayla's Ever After. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!